All right. Time to play more Control. The last time we were making our way through the containment sector. Slowly making our way over to the ordinary AWE site. And learning a lot about ordinary, Dylan and Jesse. Found out that the FBC has been going through and stalking Jesse, which was kind of creepy. Hey, you got first, congrats. But the FBC's been stalking Jesse and listening to her therapy, and maybe even controlled the therapist. Because that therapist was really pushy. But we are about to enter the ordinary AWE, and I get the feeling there's going to be a lot more reading and a lot more audio logs as we find out exactly what happened, or more details. But we're looking for the slide projector. So on that note, let's go. And we should start right outside the AWE. Yeah, because we went through the transit corridor, which had the airplane. And I know we listened to that one. Because I'm pretty sure that's the America Overnight that we listened to.
Annual evaluation of Dylan Faden,
Oh,
formerly
this is the
T6,
annual
held by
evaluation
Dr. Carla Vaughn.
where Dr.
The
Carla,
questions asked here correspond to the fifth
yeah,
iteration of the Brothers
Dr.
Psychological
Carla was
Assessment.
badgering Dylan, and Dylan was curious why
In a single
Darling
sentence,
wasn't
describe the world around you. Your choice.
visiting anymore.
Dr. Vaughn, please answer this.
There's another collectible right off the bat. Ordinary AWE Stage 1B. Dump. Witness testimonies. The second slide we called the Meadow, but it was really just an empty lot with a bunch of weeds. There was a shack and a phone line. It smelled like flowers there. It was powerful, intoxicating. We had crazy dreams there. Must have been because of the smell. I didn't like it. Didn't like losing control. In the dreams, everything was melting. And then, when we'd come out, everything had melted around the projector. Jesse Faden, Therapy 2010. Neil was really into it. We found out he'd been coming there more and more on his own. Then Tom beat the secret out of Neil and found the projector. He and his goons took it. Jesse, Therapy Session 2010. We thought Neil had got lost inside the meadow when Tom changed the slide, but that's not what happened. Dylan Faden, Interview, 2002. Extrapolated information. Unconfirmed existence of additional slide designation Meadow. So it kind of sounds like Neil got turned into a dog, or a dog-like creature, um, in the meadow, because they said he looked kind of like a melted dog. And that's when Tom changed the slide while Neil was in the meadow. The the way it's structured reminds me of old, like, growing up movies where you have like the four kids, or like a Stephen King novel or something.
Let's see what they have on Ordinary.
Hey, congrats on your 5 stream streak.
It's all here. Our home, our school, the woods, the dump.
They built a scale model of Ordinary. Oh, and there's the stages. So we've been getting information about stage 1, which is everything inside the dump. So what happened to the rest of Ordinary in stage 2, stage 3, and stage 4? They even built little cars, trees. Ordinary stage 3, public school. Witness testimonies. Tom and the others had gotten worse, scarier. The math teacher, Mrs. Chester, tried to make them listen, and they pushed over a piano on her, broke her legs. Then Tom bashed her head in. Bye bye, Mrs. Chester. Always liked her. I liked math. Dylan, interview 2002. That was the tipping point. It was Lord of the Flies level bad. The grown-ups realized something was wrong. The police came and literally dragged Tom and Hugo and the others away. Tom was screaming that the Not Mother would make them all go away. They enacted a curfew for every kid in Ordinary. Mom and Dad were pissed, asking us about the dump, about everything. I remember wanting them gone, like Tom had said. When we woke up the next morning, pretty much all the adults had just vanished. Was I responsible? Did I don't know. Jesse, therapy session 2010. Extrapolated information. Disappearance of majority of Ordinary's population confirmed to result from slide projector related AWE. Okay, so stage 3 was all of the adults disappeared. And Jesse wished they would go away? Is that what made them go away? Jesse wishing they would go away? So this is the dump. I don't see a slide projector. go. Let's get some people on our side. Ah, I missed. It is handy having the others just dealing damage with me.
We found the slide projector in the dump outside town. Did they recreate that too? Is that where they keep it?
And regarding message and chat, I'm pretty sure being able to access a database does not count as scope creep. But that's just like a personal opinion. So it looks like there's other rooms overlooking this area. Maybe we can get up there. Ordinary dump site. And this leads back to the turntable. I guess we did see the turntable. We saw the ordinary dump sign at the turntable.
You mentioned a poem last time we talked. By Thomas Zane?
Yes. Beyond the shadow you settle for, there's a miracle illuminated.
I looked the poem up. Only I couldn't find any poet by that name. I did find a European filmmaker who moved here in the 60s, named Thomas Zane.
What? I don't...
No matter. It suits you very well. The poem. How you see things. Maybe you wrote it yourself?
I didn't.
No matter. You've said a few times that you feel like there's a piece of you missing. Can we talk about that?
Okay. Yeah, it's this... I feel an emptiness, a yearning for something that I think I lost.
It's natural for you to feel that way. Your brother and your parents are dead.
No! No. Dylan's not dead. And that's not even it.
You're referring to the imaginary friend from your childhood?
Polaris. She's come back. After a long time, she's calling me. In a dream I saw, she showed me things.
Jesse.
It felt more real than anything. As real as what happened in Ordinary.
The industrial accident in your hometown? That you believe Polaris caused?
No, it wasn't an accident. There was no industrial accident, and Polaris didn't cause it. She saved me and Dylan.
Jesse...
No! It was a cover-up. The government knows about it. There were agents there. Agents from... I don't know exactly. They took Dylan. I'll find them. I won't stop looking. Polaris wants me to go to New York. There's a building there. I have to leave soon. I have to be there at a very specific time. Something hugely important is going to happen.
Jesse, you know we can't let you go until you're well. And that begins by understanding what's real and what's imagined.
Wow, there's a lot to unpack there. So, Jesse knows, for one, knows about Thomas Zane, which is impressive because So Thomas Zane is from Alan Wake, and he deleted himself from existence along with all of his work. So the fact that Jesse knows about it is pretty interesting. And the fact that there's another Thomas Zane that's a European filmmaker is also very interesting. And I feel Alan Wake related. But also the fact that Polaris wasn't with Jesse that whole time. She was, probably searching for Dylan, now that I think about it. And somehow knew that Jesse would be able to get into the oldest house during the Hiss invasion, because she had to be here at a very specific time. Very interesting. Polaris was busy doing Polaris things, that is true. Case files. Ordinary supplement. AWE 24. Ordinary main. Details. Details are largely based on interviews conducted with Dylan Faden. See interviews redacted and redacted for relevant information. And the obtained therapy sessions of Jesse Faden, as well as circumstantial evidence found at the ordinary site. Note that accounts provided by all three sources contain conflicting data. Example: Dylan claims there were 8 slides for the projector. Jesse mentioned 9 slides. The Bureau found 1 intact slide, designation of 36, and the burnt remains of 6 others. Unfortunately, these slides are too badly damaged to be used in the projector. Jesse Faden is believed to be the individual responsible for burning the slides. Notes. Dr. Darling has ordered that the entirety of the ordinary town dump be brought to the Bureau for examination and analysis, with the hopes of finding additional slides or other altered materials. Due to the limited space in the investigation sector, this AWE will be investigated in the containment sector. So it sounds like there might be slides missing and still intact slides for the slide projector. Either 2 or 3 intact slides total, right? If 6 were burned, they have 1, and there were either 8 or 9 slides. I also find it really interesting how much stuff is covered in cling wrap here. It's hard to tell if it's because it was set up. Well, it makes more sense that it's been abandoned for so long. That is a dump. They brought a whole dump into the oldest house.
They moved the whole landfill here in the middle of New York, and nobody saw a thing. Pretty unbelievable.
That is true. That is actually really unbelievable. Oh, that's still just the same newspaper. Those are too small to read for me. dump cessation of work order. Notice: by order of Dr. Darling, all work in the ordinary dump is to stop effective immediately. Resources will be allocated to the redacted department. Details will be forthcoming. This area will be sealed at the end of the month. Please remove all personal effects before that time. Any photographic slides, the type used in slide projectors, found in the area should be delivered to Dr. Darling immediately. I bet that redacted department is related to the HRAs. That's my bet. So what's upstairs? Globe supplement. Wolf Globe. AI72-PE. Acquisition date April 12th, 2010. Containment location Panopticon, Floor 2, Unit 9. Background. The item was found in the penthouse suite at Redacted, Toronto, belonging to David Wolf, who was being investigated for illegally dealing in altered materials. See case 13-HQ-37. Bureau agents raided his penthouse and found numerous paranatural belongings, including redacted, and this item. Mr. Wolf was arrested. Supplementary materials. Article from the Toronto Daily. So why would a 36-year-old Bay Street investment trader, filthy rich, married to a model, disappear overnight? That's the question that's kept Toronto high society up at night this past week. Police say it's being looked into. Some nutjob radio show in the States claims he's disappeared to join the Illuminati, but it's this reporter's opinion that Mr. Wolf, bored of his job, sick of his family, left it all behind to retire in some remote beach paradise. Now he's sipping Mai Tais while the world thinks he's dead. Was he disappeared because of the Wolf Globe? Because the Wolf Globe is the one that makes people feel disoriented after touching it, because it has landmarks on it that don't exist in on our world, including a city marked Tan Relio. I wonder if it made him teleport somewhere or something. The blue over here caught my eye, but it looks like it's just a pipe. Or a light or something. I can't shoot through this railing? Oh wait, I shouldn't shoot it. I should take it over. There we go. Much better. Who's throwing things? Oh, there are a lot of his here. Oh, and I named this. Ah, can't believe I missed that. Okay, so there's one of them. Just the named one. Wow, he's able to dodge everything. There we go. Just have to batter him a bit. Hey, we did it.
We should check that lab.
I'm sorry, what's this? An album cover? Hey, it's the Old Gods of Asgard! Rebirth. Greatest Hits. I was 9 or something when I found my dad's Old Gods album. I became a huge fan instantly. Jesse Faden. Everybody should be an Old Gods of Asgard fan. They're the band from Alan Wake. The members being Thor and Odin. And their music is featured prominently in Alan Wake. Oh, this place is a dump. Yes, I know I'm hilarious. I like the old fridges. CRTs, lots of tires, a bike. I'm worried there's gonna be more stuff like the album cover that I'm going to miss. I'm not ready to start pushing buttons yet, but it's good to know that that's there. Nothing else is really standing out to me. Let me know if you see a slide projector slide in here somewhere. Mobile lab. That must be Darling's lab that I need to go check out. Nope. Still too small to read. I have just some random junk in here. A bicycle, a few CRT, a microwave, some speakers.
Effective immediately. I'm setting up a new department. Dimensional research in the research sector. Transferring the slide projector there. That's where my focus will be now. The ordinary site remains as is. We'll be back to... I don't know when.
Darling took the projector to the research sector. He dedicated a whole area to it, so he knew it was important. Dimensional research. That's where we go next.
New mission, finish Tango. New mission, a dark place. Well, first, let's empty some of these. Okay. What can I get rid of? I have 2 of these. Let's get rid of this one. Oh, these are just damage boosts. Rate of fire. Damage while aiming. Exclusive to Pierce. I already have level 5 in there. Didn't we go there in Alan Wake already? The dark place? Yeah. Yeah, we did. Interesting that's coming up again. I have a bunch of C's. Ooh, do I have a better C's? 91%. Yes, I have a much better C's. And we got Darling presentation, Dylan Faden. Did we watch this?
Dylan's a lost cause. I know I struggled to see this, but we contained him now. I wish I had sided with Marshall. Back when it was just one person. So many dead. I thought his youth was an asset. Just too much too soon. Effective immediately. I'm setting up a new department. Dimensional research in the research sector. Transferring the slide projector there. That's where my focus will be now. The ordinary site remains as is. We'll be back to... I don't know when.
Okay, so that was only part of the video that we saw. It was actually about Dylan, and apparently he killed more than just one person. Then we got something from the hotline called Descent. You have heard wrong. Fake news. The board is A-OK, intact. The rebel faction, Descent, is former, fired. The crisis, purge is over. This is not a matter of worry for you. You can hang up now, please. That's all language. That's very trustworthy. It sounds like, the former is still around. It's still a problem. Oh, hi. Oh, there's two. Ooh, that hurt. Can't believe that didn't hit him. Come back, come back. Alright guys, shield back. I accidentally killed him instead of taking him over. So the trick seems to be to throw things while they're still coming at you instead of waiting for them to get to you before throwing them. Nope, none of that worked. Got him. Oh, that seizes way faster. All right. It's just taking him a while to die. While he does that, we're going to go up and check out the other side, because we didn't go up there. Research, personnel. We have to go to research anyway. Let's activate that. Oh, there is something up here. Would you look at that? As well as part of a bike I must have thrown up here. Oh, he gave me all sorts of stuff. That was nice. And would you look at that? We're back at the turntable. Okay. So there's still the Sterling AWE, but we haven't figured out how to get into there yet. There should be a control point here. Abilities. more energy would be nice. I would be able to throw things, being able to launch large enemies, being able to seize more enemies, being able to fly for longer. See, there's just too many things that would be nice. I'm gonna go with energy just because it makes me able to do more of everything. And we are going to go to parapsychology and see if we can successfully protect some personnel now that we're more capable, hopefully. Because I haven't been able to successfully complete one of these board measures yet. Oh, I haven't been using the slam ability of levitate. I should use that more. And my shield. Okay, so I bet it's this way. No? There we go. Let's do this. It'd be nice if they didn't just stand on all the things that explode. Okay, so there's a sphere somewhere there. And if I could take that over, maybe it would help me protect. My FBC agents. I took a lot of damage there. That wasn't okay. Oh, wait, that one was on my side. Oh, there's still more? Oh, he's dead. Okay. Well, where's everybody? Hey, we did it. Did I get a reward for doing that? Okay, so let's take a look at our missions. Search for the slide projector in the dimensional research. We still need to look for Langston's runaways. Oh, we need to find a bunch of his corrupted and investigate the sector elevator. I think I want to actually investigate the sector elevator. So what we're going to do is go to Central Executive. Yeah, we'll go to Central Executive, and what we're going to do there is go to, well, we can talk to Emily and see if there's anything else here. Then we'll go to the elevator and see what's going on with this A Dark Place. Okay, so let's check the boardroom.
Good to see you again.
Hey, she does have stuff to say.
Do you remember Mr. Tomasi, the head of communications? The hiss he was changed into showed up in containment, near the turntable.
I'll take care of it. That thing's not getting away this time.
I've heard reports about his particular use of language and intonation when repeating the hiss babbling. The biological and behavioral distinctions between different hiss-corrupted individuals is truly fascinating. I wonder if I could categorize the data.
And she's already off on her own thing.
Oh, it was a it's a new mission. Okay.
I've been seeing these Darling presentations all over. Seems like he enjoys the limelight.
So you noticed, huh? When he recruited me out of college, he actually came to visit. He interrupted my physics course by shouting, not quite, Professor, and then marching down to the front of the class where he proceeded to berate the very idea of laws of thermodynamics. Hey, he's been a showboat all his life.
Darling visited you in college?
Yeah, he read a paper I'd published, came to recruit me for the Bureau. I accepted and then spent years waiting for access to the confidential research that Darling promised me. And whenever I ask about my access level, he just mumbles that it's temporarily postponed and then changes the subject to the effect of entropy on luck.
I wonder who else Darling hid his work from. Marshall? Trench? Have you learned anything about Dylan's condition?
Only that he's definitely hiss, but I guess his chanting made that pretty obvious. You know, interestingly, the words of the hiss incantation have an average length of 4 letters. The most common word used 7 times is want. The next most common are through and time. It's very interesting, don't you think?
I don't care about the words. What about my brother?
Right. Sorry, I got a little off track. Well, strangely, his tissue samples all look healthy, unlike the other hiss I've tested.
That's good news. Right? I wanted to talk to you about the crazy things I can do. My abilities. I get the sense that they're not very usual around here.
Well, usual and unusual aren't really benchmarks at the Bureau, but for some perspective, Director Northmore once used the floppy disk to send a bowling ball 6 yards through the air, and that was considered a huge deal. So compared to that, you are most certainly an outlier.
An outlier. I like the sound of that.
Okay.
I should get going.
Don't let me hold you up.
And then what's this? Timeline of events. Compiled by Emily Pope, Research Specialist, by order of Director Jesse Faden. Analysis of the Hiss Threat Part 4, Confidential. Summary. To examine the invasion's timeline of events for possible patterns in Hiss behavior. Establishing a timeline is difficult at present because of lack of reliable communications between Bureau sectors and staff. Preliminary models indicate ground zero of the invasion is located within the executive sector. Once it becomes possible to interview surviving personnel, pinpointing the exact location should be feasible. Other outstanding questions that a timeline may help answer. How did the Hiss get past the internal lockdown? How does Hiss resonance advance through space? Deliberately or uniformly? What is their ultimate goal? The outside world? A cross-dimensional destination? Referred to Redacted for full report. Interesting that it seems to have started in the executive sector. Because there's not much here.
Good luck out there.
Darkness engulfed the elevator. There was something there, reaching for her, trying to make her act. It was a distress call. Faden sensed a drowning man, a hunger in the dark. Investigation sector.
Investigation sector, huh? We should check this out.
That was Wake. Hotline. Trench, board, Wake.
Darkness engulfed the elevator. There was something there. A presence. Jesse Faden could hear it. A call. It was faint, reaching for her from a dark place. Faden was sensitive to visitations. She had them all the time. From her guiding star and the previous director. She was the perfect receiver. As if she'd been made for this. Faden paused to feel it. The force at play here. It was changing things around her, subtle, trying to make her act. Faden didn't like that. Her guide felt it too. Polaris didn't flare up in defense as with the Hiss. So it wasn't all bad. Not a hostile transmission. It was powerful, but it was coming from far away. And made weak because of the distance. It was a distress call. Faden sensed a drowning man. A man desperate to escape. She sensed something else too. A hunger in the dark. Not unlike the hostile resonance. Waiting. She knew that desperate acts can have grim consequences. It was this, more than the man's despair, that made her follow the call. The elevator lights winked back on. The darkness receded like a memory. There was a new button on the elevator control panel. Investigation sector. Faden pressed the button. The elevator doors slid shut with practiced bravado.
So now Wake is writing Jesse. Investigation sector. Let's see what Alan's up to. Because at the end of Alan Wake, he was in the dark place. The elevator's way darker than usual. Yo, that was so cool, right?
Hello? Anyone here?
Guess not.
The investigation sector doesn't look all that great.
Seems a lot more crowded than the rest of the Bureau.
Lots of things to pick up, too. Missing agents. Mr. Kirkland, here's the latest agents confirmed missing. Presumed dead from the containment breach yesterday. And this was in 2017. Agent Jonathan Connor, researcher Ezra Cruz, Agent Caroline Dempsey, Agent Lindsay Malcolm, Agent Charles Murray, Agent Derek Shaw. Letters of condolence will be delivered to you to sign prior to sending them to their families. You will be updated as soon as additional confirmations are made. Also, per your request, a network engineer checked how many cases were backed up digitally. Unfortunately, a large number of active investigations were not archived yet, and the only hard copies of reports exist behind the firebreak. They're lost, I'm afraid. From 2017. Wall painting on your left when you walked in. I think it's the cabin by the lake. Let me see. This one? Or was there another one? Because that would be pretty cool. This one, though, is we've seen around the oldest house. Is there another painting? That's some weird noise. I'm sorry, I'm not seeing another painting. No, that was it. Okay. Darling investigation. Compiled by Tim Spalder, Special Agent, by order of William Kirkland, Head of Investigations. I saw as you zoomed past. Oh, that's alright. Regarding Dr. Casper Darling, Official Findings Report, Internal Confidential. Summary. Per authorization from Mr. Kirkland, Internal Investigation D-084-5 was launched into the ethical practices of Dr. Casper Darling, Head of Research. Despite the accounts of anonymous redacted regarding inhumane treatment of a redacted currently housed in the Bureau, our official findings regarding this were inconclusive. Numerous obstacles arose during this investigation. The majority of redacted sector personnel seemed to be wholly unaware of any such redacted contained there. One redacted confirmed the redacted's code name to be redacted, but all files pertaining to that name were inaccessible, being classified under the highest clearance level. Investigators were similarly blocked from entering the redacted research wing to interview its staff. The matter was further complicated by the lack of clarity on whether non-human paranatural entities warrant humane treatment. While this investigation cannot address any charges against Dr. Darling, we do recommend an investigation into redacted research. Refer to file 9-82-0136 for full report. Okay, so the investigations sector was trying to investigate Dr. Darling, but having trouble doing it. It sounds like research really had his back. Casey inquiry to R. Dennis from D. Gleason. Subject possible lead on the Wake case. Mr. Dennis. A request came through recently from an FBI agent asking for all of our files on Bright Falls, specifically on the disappearance of the author, Alan Wake. Per the Interagency Information Exchange Agreement, I had some paper pushers gather up a folder of all the pre-approved files. Don't worry, all the inappropriate material is either missing or redacted. But I'm writing to let you know that we received this request from a special agent named Alex Casey. Sounds familiar, right? That's because Alex Casey's the name of the fictional detective in those hard-boiled crime books Alan Wake wrote. Pretty interesting that an FBI agent sharing a name with the most famous character Wake wrote is looking into a case dealing with a writer's fiction coming true. I think this is worth looking into, but what's your opinion? Just give the word and I'll start surveillance on this guy. Special Investigator Gleason. So an FBI agent named Alex Casey is investigating the disappearance of Alan Wake. I get the feeling this whole investigation sector is very Alan Wake themed. And there's gonna be lots of reading, if it's anything like Alan Wake. Cauldron Lake update. To Chief Investigator Dennis. It happened again. Third time this year. Something certainly has it out for our redacted. Could be raccoons. The locals certainly complain about them enough, but why the hell would raccoons keep going after a monitoring station? Doesn't add up. Anyway, I've got a bureau tech going to the site next week to take a look. Next on the list of recurring problems is the staff at the Lake House Research Station. How am I supposed to effectively keep an eye on Redacted Lake if they won't let me see any data? Hell, I don't know what they're researching out there. We need to petition them again to share their info with investigations agents. It's only a matter of time before this redacted hits again, and I want to be prepared. Anyway, if anyone at HQ asks why Bright Falls report is a little thin this month, tell them it's because we couldn't take any readings. In the meantime, I might invest in some raccoon traps. Sincerely, Agent Estevez. So they set up a whole Lake House branch out at Bright Falls. It is so much darker in here. Staffing issue. Mr. Dennis. So yes, there's an increase in AWE cases, and yes, it would be a good idea to put together a special task force to determine exactly why that is. However, it seems that a tiny little detail has slipped through the cracks. We don't have the damn staff. If you expect us to detect, investigate, and process more AWE cases, you need to give us more people. It's simple math. Between the staff we lost in the Hartman thing and the ones who left for other departments after Kirkland quit, we're barely managing to keep up with the workload. Hell, just filing the paperwork for all the altered items we left behind in the sector has been an ordeal. Another thing, and this is going to sound paradoxical, but we have an overcrowding situation. This lobby isn't meant to accommodate a whole sector's worth of staff. We put forward a motion to move investigations to a more suitable location months ago. It better not be sitting on your desk. The people are getting restless, and, as Kirkland's interim replacement, it's your job to handle it. Best regards, Agent Grayson. The Hartman thing? And it sounds like part of the sector got locked off. And that's why it's so crowded in here. Oh, there's something in there too. There's just stuff all over the place. Tractor supplement. Burrow Tractor. AI82-KE. Acquisition date April 21st, 2019. Scene not acquired. Containment location NA. Supplementary materials. Note: miscommunication led to a local coroner examining the body of William Burrow. Burrow, William, male, Caucasian. Case summary: 33-year-old man found dead on his property per police report. Remains obtained for coroner's office also include blood, urine, bile, stomach contents, and bone fragments. Autopsy findings: blunt force injuries, head, A, lacerations, left ear and cheek. Blunt force injuries, extremities, A, dislocation right knee, complete avulsion of the right upper extremity with associated fracture of the proximal right humerus, extensive trauma abdominal region, A, complete avulsion of multiple organs, including stomach, heart, liver, pancreas, kidneys, and portions of the large and small intestine, all missing from scene. Conclusion: it is my opinion that Mr. Burrow's death is not the result of a mechanical accident as claimed by authorities. The removal of organs is consistent with animal attack. This is really implying that the tractor ate Mr. Burrow's organs or something. Resignation letter. Redacted of redacted 2019. To whom it may concern, it is with great anger and regret that I tender my resignation as head of investigations for the Federal Bureau of Control. I do this in protest of the rampant disregard for my department's redacted. My staff cannot continue to work in these conditions. Previous requests and warnings have fallen on deaf ears, so I must now rely on my actions to speak louder than my words ever could. I blame this situation on our redacted, who has routinely ignored my requests for assistance in reclaiming the parts of the investigations sector lost to the redacted loose inside. I will never forget the screams of brave agents begging for us to open the firebreak. I will carry the shame for the rest of my days. The redacted has failed his agents. I shall never forgive him for that. Sincerely, William Kirkland. 2019, and we saw stuff from 2017, so they've been stuck in here with the rest of the sector closed behind the firebreak for at least 2 years. Ethics investigation. Compiled by Patricia Lewis, Special Agent, by order of William Kirkland, Head of Investigations. Official findings report regarding the Prime Candidate Program. Internal, confidential. Summary. Per authorization from Mr. Kirkland, Internal Investigation P-142-9 was launched into the legality of the Prime Candidate Program, redacted by the Federal Bureau of Control. Since all known subjects relevant to the investigation used executive privilege to decline interviews, very little first-hand information was gathered. However, anonymous sources and documentation declassified by Mr. Kirkland both paint an alarmingly clear picture of systematic redacted and redacted. Redacted were brought into the oldest house and placed under redacted examination and testing with the aim of appointing one as director upon maturity. This program has produced no successful cases and only resulted in the traumatic redacted of paranaturally inclined redacted. Not only is this in breach of the Ashe Act, but it flies in the face of basic human redacted. This investigation team unequivocally redacted the prime candidate program and recommends that it be redacted immediately. Refer to file 9-82-0136 for full report. So it sounds like there were multiple children brought in for the prime candidate program, which is pretty messed up. Guess what time it is, Dr. Freeman? Reload. I haven't gotten a soundbite for the reload yet. It requires third-party extensions and stuff, which I haven't had time to set up. So no soundbite for channel points yet, unfortunately. Mimic coins. I'm sorry, not channel points, mimic coins, because that's what they are. Reload, Dr. Freeman. Is that what I gotta do? That does make sense. Okay, well, we're doing tractor procedures next. Burrow tractor AI82-KE. Containment procedure. Item is not in Bureau custody. None known. Description, altered effect. A Frank Elk tractor. Olive green, dried blood on the grill when last seen. Item is capable of vocalized responses, or growls, and unmanned locomotion. Considered highly aggressive and dangerous. Background. The item first came to the Bureau's attention after the death of William Burrow, owner of Burrow Farm outside of Trenton, Texas. Local authorities arrived on scene after an employee found the mutilated body of Mr. Burrow beneath his tractor. Police arrived, but were immediately driven away by the tractor. Panicked calls to federal authorities were intercepted by Bureau communications staff. A team was dispatched. Upon arrival, the agents approached the item. It responded by growling like a bear. 3 agents were injured when they tried to detain the item, which escaped. Aerial searches for the item are ongoing. Speaking to Mrs. Burrow only revealed that she had a domestic altercation with Mr. Burrow earlier the night of the incident. Whether these events are connected is currently unknown. So, it's a tractor that is possessed by a bear or something? That's, it kind of reminds me of, I haven't actually read it. Is it Carrie by Stephen King that has the car that's alive? Kind of reminds me of that in concept, but again, I haven't actually read it. Okay, so this powers something. Where does the yellow cable go? It goes out there. It's the baby of a tractor and a bear? That's very possible. Keystone inspection. Mr. Kirkland, we stopped at Keystone on our way to the target AWE like you asked. I'm sending my report directly to you to try and keep a lid on this Grumman Morales desertion issue. We didn't find any sign of them there. Given their records, it is possible they've switched teams like you suspected, but I don't think that's the case. An event definitely occurred here in Keystone, and I think Grumman and Morales got caught up in it. The entire population has vanished into thin air. Reminds me of the Ordinary case, but that was just the adults if I'm remembering the file correctly. This is different. I think our guys are casualties, not traitors. If this was an AWE, it seems to be over. We walked through the whole town, and the only strange thing we noticed were markings on various buildings. 2 overlapping circles with a dot in the shared space. Could be unrelated. I'll show you the pictures when I get back. In the meantime, you should send a team out to cordon this place off and maybe get the comms guys working on a cover story. Sincerely, Agent Keenum. Wow, so it's already an issue. Another just disappearing town. Okay, so where does this yellow cable go though? So it goes... Oh, so I can't actually press this button
It's not working.
until I get power.
Probably lose power core somewhere.
I could probably take it off of this one, but that has another yellow cable. It's probably powering something else. Or is it just powering lights that aren't on? I don't know.
There. Now that gate should open.
Oh, that's a cool helmet. Astronaut helmet. So is this, yeah, I'm pretty sure this is the investigations, the head of the department's office. Kirkland. Trench. Official warning. Kirkland, I'm tired of your blatant attempts to lay your incompetence at my doorstep. I know you want this to be true, but you are head of investigations. This failure is your responsibility. What did you think would happen, holding a dangerous specimen in investigations? The containment sector exists for a reason. They're better trained and better equipped for this type of work. In fact, they have admirably taken on certain AWE monitoring responsibilities that your staff are no longer capable of. This happens more and more now. I don't think your petty internal investigations have gone past my notice. You're a worm. Everything I have done has been for the benefit of the Bureau. The Prime Candidate program only failed because of Darling. You are both failures plotting against me. You're traitors, and the truth will emerge out of you. You are choosing to become my enemy, Kirkland. You don't want to be. Zachariah Trench, Director of the Federal Bureau of Control. Trench is sounding a little paranoid? Definitely antagonistic. Director investigation, compiled by Redacted by order of William Kirkland. Redacted. Summary. Per authorization from Mr. Kirkland, Redacted was launched into the Redacted of Director Zachariah Trench. A recent change in Redacted witnessed in Director Trench, including aggressive Redacted when redacted with other staff, has been observed. However, this investigation is aimed at interpreting this issue rather than proving it. Notable redacted between Director Trench and Dr. Darling has been witnessed by numerous Bureau staff. Although both declined to meet for an interview on the matter, witness accounts suggest their arguments center around the Dimensional Research Wing and the redacted kept inside. However, no evidence exists to confirm Director Trench's redacted as anything more than interpersonal disagreements. This investigation has concluded that Director Trench's behavior is not indicative of any redacted and that his fitness to lead is not in question. Refer to file redacted for full report. I'm not sure I agree with that report. Underhill background. Underhill is the one researching the mold. Compiled by Agent Lisa Keenum, external investigator, by order of William Kirkland, head of investigations. Official findings report. Dr. Rhea Underhill. Summary. Dr. Rhea Underhill is a professor at the University of Woodrow in the United Kingdom, where she teaches biology with a focus on botany. Dr. Underhill once worked with the Bureau as a parabotanist stationed in the research sector of the oldest house. She served with no incidents or demerits and is praised by those who formerly worked with her, including Dr. Darling. Dr. Underhill has no known connections to paracriminal organizations or any record of breaching her NDAs since leaving the Bureau. Her civilian behavior has been ideal, with the exception of an ongoing personal relationship with Dr. Darling that appears to have begun during their time as co-workers in the research sector and revisited intermittently ever since. Depending on the duration of her work in the oldest house, it may be required to have both parties sign a relationship clearance form. This investigation has found no compelling reason to deny Dr. Darling's request to offer Dr. Underhill an interim position within the aim with the aim of finding a solution to the mold threshold issue. Refer to file 7-08-5286 for full report. So investigations was actually investigating, it sounds like. That looks like I didn't actually have to break that window that I broke. And now the door works. Specimen Escape Assessment. Official Findings Report Incident Number A-49. Internal Confidential. Summary. The purpose of Internal Investigation X-039-7 is to examine the containment failure of specimen SI-1 that resulted in the deaths of redacted agents. An inspection report of the containment equipment 3 days earlier showed no faults. Investigators suspect human error to be the cause, yet no department has provided any evidence to support this. Technicians were able to recover the researchers' notes on the specimen from the internal network. On the redacted of redacted, the specimen began displaying a sharp increase in aggressive redacted. Cross-referencing that date with various logs found only 2 events inconsistent with the sector's daily routine. 1. The air filters were changed. And 2. An hour prior to the incident, a civilian named Alice Redacted entered the sector regarding an unrelated investigation. See interview number 65-F-124. Given their connection to the same AWE case, it is likely that Mrs. Redacted's presence is relevant to the specimen's escape and to the redacted. Investigation is ongoing. Refer to file 6-23-0721 for full report. So, Alice has got to be Alice Wake, Alan's wife. So she actually visited the FBC. She entered the investigation sector, and an hour later, specimen SI-1 broke containment and killed a number of agents. That's concerning. Very concerning. Oh, that's the lamp cord, or the light cord that goes to the motel, Ocean View. Let's claim this control point first. It looks like we have...
I'm no detective, but something definitely happened here.
all the stuff on the floor. Is what Jesse's talking about, presumably. Blessed organization. Blessed? Blessed. Blessed. Compiled by Agent Tim Spalder by order of Remy Dennis, Chief Investigator. Paracriminal Profile, the Blessed Organization. Summary. This group/individual has operated outside of the Bureau's notice for decades, possibly longer, displaying a level of skill and caution rarely seen in paracriminal groups. A review of past cases has found various mentions of their activity over the years. In 2016, a production company called Blessed Pictures was connected to an altered item case, as well as the death of an agent from exposure to illicit paranatural materials. In 1994, a Los Angeles-based public speaker named Chester Bless was involved in the illegal use of an altered item. In 1988, a business called Blessed Repair and Service was suspected of involvement with an object of power case, perhaps even creating it. None of these businesses or individuals has ever been located. However, their connection to the appearances of altered items and objects of power is too direct to be considered circumstantial. An arrest order has been issued for any persons believed to be involved in the Blessed organization. Refer to file 7-39-0922 for full report. So there's a paracriminal organization that's going around messing with altered items and objects of power, which is not good. Unfortunately, the Ocean View Motel is going to have to wait till next time because I am all out of time. they must be working with the former. It's possible. The former seems to be trying to create connections to altered items, and I wonder if, I mean, it's possible that the Blessed Organization is actually sourcing altered items and objects of power. Very possible. But the board assures us that we don't have to worry about the former anymore. Which again, I'm not sure I believe. But next time, we will proceed past the firebreak and into the rest of the investigations sector. And probably see a lot more connections with Alan Wake, which will be really fun. Thanks for hanging out.